to me. You have to talk louder, brethren. You have to talk louder, you know. Oh, all right, that's what I find out. Yes, good night.
Good night. How are you, Muta?
I'm okay, but I don't know why everything's going so far.
I don't know why it's so far either. Is this better?
All right, I hear you a little bit.
Is this better?
Yes.
You alright?
Yes.
Hold on, let me try to adjust it.
No, man, I hear you now, man. I hear you.
You can hear me now? Okay,
Yes.
good.
All right.
Okay.
I think we met in Africa. Did we meet in Africa?
We met many times. One of the times was in Africa, in Ghana, for the Year of Return. Dr. Sharita had her wellness festival.
Yes.
And you performed.
Alice was there at the time.
Yes. Well, no, he didn't come that time. He came this year. Or he didn't come that year.
So only
Aris is my...
still go.
Well, Aris was my
Still go to the
teacher.
festival?
Yes, I did go to the festival, and I did a raw food demonstration.
All right, so you are into raw food. Tell how long have you been into raw food?
Since 1984, when I met Dr. Aris.
Well, I know most people who's into raw food, the first link with that was Iris.
Yes, he's a master teacher.
Definitely. All right, so you have a place in America doing it?
I do, in Atlanta, Georgia. I fed you back in, I don't know, maybe 2016 when you came to the Southwest Performing Arts Center and you performed your spoken word poetry, and I got a chance to feed you. Ooh, living my best life. I am. My king man and I came here to visit, and that was back in November, and we're still here.
So you are here from November?
Yes. We went home one time for a couple of weeks. What'd you say?
You're missing out all the wonderful things Trump is doing.
Oh, absolutely not. He can miss me with all of that. Oh, my goodness.
So apart from having fun, you're not doing any business here?
Oh, we are doing business here. We're preparing for a retreat we're having in July. It's called the Raw Touch Retreat, and I will be doing a raw certification. And my king man, Uncle El Adam, who's right here with me, he will be doing a sacred touch certification. And we're doing a build-up so that next year we will be able to bring the wonderful Wizards of Raw Food and Wellness Festival to Jamaica.
So when is this going to, where is it going to take place?
Well, the Raw Food Festival will be in 2026. We are planning to do it in Negril, and we've been going around meeting the different people from the Jamaica Tourist Board, different locations, hotels, parks, places where we can potentially have the festival. And we've had some wonderful guides, our wonderful Jacobs. They are Theo and Oshun Sharon Chambers, and they've been introducing us to everyone that we need to meet so that we can have a successful event next year. Yes. And we want it to be the first of its kind, not only in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean, because ultimately raw food is one of the things that is going to help our people retain or remember our greatness. With all of this great food. Yeah, go on.
What is it that you are going to offer in
I do in Atlanta. Every year I have a festival for the past 15 years called the Wonderful Wizards of Raw, where we feature raw food chefs. We usually have an uncook-off where they can compete with their recipes. They'll get a chance to showcase them as well as to sell their dishes. We will have speakers talking about health and wellness. There will be vendors, opportunities to learn more about alternative ways of being healthy and taking care of ourselves. We'll have positive vibes, music and such, and local craft people. The main thrust is going to be on, raw food. We also want to feature Rastafari with the ital and, to feature farmers as well because everyone must work together in order to remember what has sustained our people throughout the diaspora. So we do the same thing in Atlanta. We want to really, really remind our people. We don't have to teach them anything. We really just have to remind them it's in the DNA so that they can choose life, choose real food, so that when they eat better, of course, they feel better, they think better, they make better choices, thus improving the quality of life for themselves and those around them. And most I know we need, all of us, need an improvement.
So what have you been doing since apart from having fun, I said that before, but have you been serving people or you just do it for yourself? What have you been doing since November here?
I've been really blessed to have a very successful restaurant in Atlanta called
not in Atlanta. Here. What have you been doing here?
In Jamaica?
I've been doing food, yes.
Yes, I've been doing some private chefing for some folks. Yes, absolutely. And, of course, eating my own food, too.
So you're not in Kingston?
I haven't been to Kingston yet. Looking forward to going. We've been mainly in the Grill in Lucy, and right now we're in Portland.
You're in Portland now?
At the Nyabingi homegoing ceremony for Mama Fire.
Oh, that is happening now?
It is happening right here, right now.
You're serious?
I'm so serious. Like the star. In fact, we left the drumming and dancing to come and have this interview with you.
That's interesting. I was so okay. All right. Well, is there going to be until July, you say, right?
Yes, the certification, the Raw Touch certification will be happening in July of this year, and people can go to our website, which is the Raw Touch Retreat.hard.co, and they can find all the details about it. Well, they will learn to prepare raw food dishes, and they will also learn sacred touch, which many people call massage and Reiki and such, but it's really an ancient way of healing called the laying on of hands. And so they go to the Raw Touch Retreat .carrd.co. They can find out all the information. And they can also go to our Instagram pages, Tassili Ma'at, or Tassili's Raw, or All Healing Hands, _ All Healing Hands. And Tassili, yes, I'm getting coaching in the background. Tassili is T as in truth, ASSILIRAW, Tassili Raw.
Say that again.
Sure. T as in truth, ASSILISRAW.
Okay. I remind the people that you said July, but you don't know where yet.
the retreat, for the double certification retreat this year in July, we're having that in Negril. And it'll be the 7th to the 17th of, where in Negril?
We're in Negril.
So it will be held at the Point Village, and we will also go to some of the sacred sites in the west side, in Hanover and Westmoreland. And we were also going to be at the Temple of Inner Peace, which is a sacred spot that
That's your place. That's up here.
Yes, you know about it. They said you came there.
Yeah, I've been there. I was in Negril, Scott. I was in Negril this weekend. I saw you.
That's right. We saw you at the Rasta Festival in one shoe.
Yeah.
The Ganja Festival. Mm-hmm. It was good to see you.
Okay, well, I hope to see you again soon. I mean, July is a little distant. It's good to gear us up for that.
Yes, we're looking forward to being here to, doing good things with the Jamaican people. So, that's July 7th to the 17th for the Raw Touch Dual Certification Retreat.
Good.
And the Wonderful Wizards of Raw Festival in 2026 next year. And so stay tuned, and we will be blessing the airwaves with the good news about what we're up to.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Reminded that we give much thanks, and so now we're going to return to the baby.
Okay.
For Mama Fire.
Yes.
Why did you go all around the world, invade our countries, occupy our countries, colonize our countries? Why couldn't you stay where you were if it was so brilliant and so wonderful? I mean, why are there 20 million people of British and European descent even in Australia to begin with, if the West is so wonderful? You came to our shores long before we ever came to your shores, and you brought nothing but ruin and misery. So you can't blame us for trying to escape what you caused, what you brought. You took everything from us, and then when we try to go to where you took everything of ours, you vilify us. You say we are illegal immigrants. We are illegal for trying to escape your crimes. You took everything from us, and it's illegal for us to go to where you took it. And the fact that you could take it, the fact that you are successful criminals, you think that that makes you a great so-called civilization. Well, you're nothing but criminals. Nothing but pirates and marauders, thieves and mass murderers. You pave over the bodies of your victims, and then you brag about your infrastructure.
Well, we want to play Marcus Garvey voice. And it is Marcus Garvey voice. It's not somebody acting. Because we know the actor who do it and people play it and say it's Marcus Garvey voice, but it's really Marcus Garvey speech done by an actor. This is Marcus Garvey voice.
Sons of Africa, I greet you in the name of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League of the World. You may ask, what organization is that? It is for me to inform you that the Universal Negro Improvement Association is an organization that seeks to unite into one solid body the 400 million Negroes of the world, to link up the 15 million Negroes of the United States of America with the 20 million Negroes of the West Indies, the 40 million Negroes of South and Central America with the 280 million Negroes of Africa for the purpose of bettering our industrial, commercial, educational, social, and political conditions. As you are aware, the world in which we live today is divided into separate race groups and distinct nationalities. Each race and each nationality is endeavoring to work out its own destiny to the exclusion of other races and other nationalities. We hear the cry of England for the Englishman, of France for the Frenchman, of Germany for the German, of Ireland for the Irish, of Palestine for the Jew, of Japan for the Japanese, of China for the Chinese. We of the Universal Negro Improvement Association are raising the cry of Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. There are 400 million Africans in the world who have Negro blood coursing through their veins. And we believe that the time has come to unite these 400 million people for the one common purpose of bettering their condition. The great problem of the Negro for the last 500 years has been that of disunity. No one or no organization ever succeeded in uniting the Negro race. But within the last 4 years, the Universal Negro Movement Association has worked wonders in bringing together in one phone 4 million organized Negroes who are scattered in all parts of the world, being in the 48 states of the American Union, all the West Indian Islands, and the countries of South and Central America and Africa. These 4 million people are working to convert the rest of the 400 million scattered all over the world. And it is for this purpose that we are asking you to join our ranks and to do the best you can to help us to bring about an emancipated race. If anything praiseworthy is to be done, it must be done through unity. And it is for that reason that the Universal Negro Movement Association calls upon every Negro in the United States to rally to this standard. We want to unite the Negro race in this country. We want every Negro to work for one common object, that of building a nation of his own on the great continent of Africa. And all Negroes all over the world are working for the establishment of a government in Africa, means that it will be realized in another few years. We want the moral and financial support of every Negro to make the dream a possibility. Already, this organization has established itself in Nigeria, West Africa, and is endeavoring to do all possible to develop that Negro country to become a great industrial and commercial commonwealth. Pioneers have been sent by this organization to Nigeria, and they are now laying the foundations upon which the 400 million Negroes of the world will build. If you believe that the Negro has a soul, if you believe that the Negro is a man, if you believe the Negro was endowed with the senses commonly given to other men by the Creator, then you must acknowledge that what other men have done, Negroes can do. We want to build up cities, nations, government, industries of our own in Africa, so that we'll be able to have a chance to rise from the lowest to the highest positions in the African Commonwealth.
That was Marcus Garvey voice from a speech in New York, 1921. Yes, 1921. Marcus Garvey spoke in New York. I think it's Madison Square Garden too. Yeah, it was in Madison Square Garden. So you can't say never hear Marcus Garvey voice yet. Cutting edge. And we've been playing that for years, you know. We've been playing for years. But as we said, this is Black History Month. So we have to give the people them something of value. Value. That is what we are doing. Give you something of value. And this is how we are doing it. Here we go. Here we go.
No people will ever be free if they worship a God assigned to them by another people. God is not less God if you see him your way, and he is not less if you see him in your own image. Seeing the deity in your image is a responsibility, and you will never have full respect for the black father in your home if there's a white father hanging in your church.
Okay. We want to play it again. We want to play it again. Listen.
No people will ever be free if they worship a God assigned to them by another people. God is not less God if you see him your way, and he is not less if you see him in your own image. Seeing the deity in your image is a responsibility, and you will never have full respect for the black father in your home if there's a white father hanging in your church.
Through corrupting the leader of that country, then impose conditionalities for structural adjustment policies, often consisting of the following. Currency devaluation. When the value of a currency currency drops, so does everything valued in it. This makes indigenous resources available to predator countries at a fraction of their worth. Large funding cuts for social programs. These usually include education and healthcare, compromising the well-being and integrity of the society, leaving the public vulnerable to exploitation. Privatization of state-owned enterprises. This means that socially important systems can be purchased and regulated by foreign corporations for profit. For example, in 1999, the World Bank insisted that the Bolivian government sell the public water system of its third largest city to a subsidy of the U.S. corporation Bechtel. As soon as this occurred, water bills for the already impoverished local residents skyrocketed. It wasn't until after a full-blown revolt by the people that the Bechtel contract was nullified. Then there's trade liberalization, or the opening up of the economy through removing any restrictions on foreign trade. This allows for a number of abusive economic manifestations, such as transnational corporations bringing in their own mass-produced products, undercutting the indigenous production and ruining local economies.
You're seeing Rihanna, listen.
They're yours. You wrote them in your 1985 ruling in Bryant v. Topeka, an equal protection case dealing with a state housing lottery program. Racism is built into the DNA of America. And as long as we turn a blind eye to the pain of those suffering under its oppression, we will never escape those origins. The only safeguard people of color have is the right to a defense, and we won't even give them that. Which means that the promise of civil rights has never been fulfilled. Due to the failure of our justice system, our public defense system in particular, Jim Crow is alive and kicking. Laws have made it illegal for blacks and whites to be buried in the same cemetery. They categorize people into courtrooms and octorooms. They punish a black person for seeking medical attention in a white hospital. Some may claim that slavery has ended. But tell that to the inmates who are kept in cages and told that they don't have any rights at all. People like my client Nathaniel Leahy and millions of people like him who are relegated to a subclass of human existence in our prisons. There is no alternative to justice in this case. There is no other option. To decide against my plaintiff is to choose lining the pockets of prison owners over providing basic defense for the people who live in them. And is that the America that this court really wants to live in? Where money is more important than humanity? Where criminality is confused with mental health? The Sixth Amendment was ratified in 1791. It's been 226 years since then. Let's finally guarantee its rights to all of our citizens. I listen to
But guess what? The still lie on the boat. The system no warm up a float. Cause every time they feel them want to think for boat. All because them can't program me like a robot and control me with no remote. Politicians want me to devote in them blood sport. But I'm gonna be that boat. But not the one when Christmas come to cut it short. I mean that one that stand up for what's right. And what's not pleasing to eyesight. I'm gonna fight the fight. I'm gonna be that one when you cover the nation in darkness. I'll be that light. I'm that fire that ignites, bright in everyone's IQ. You don't matter if you're black or you're white. I'ma be that valiant one that turns up to defend the vulnerable, all when we need fight. I'm gonna free up the simple pan, the lowest denominator for them to really grasp what you actually are dealing with. You know, and the thing where we will find out is that when you say something where hit them laugh. You can know when something hit them because them laugh. And you realize that, okay, and that kind of thing. But more and more you realize it, and then you come amongst certain youth. Whether them educated, university, or whether them up on the road. Them understanding of self, and understanding of what is it that is taking place around them and in them. Them to have a clue. Them to have a clue at all. It's when you actually say it to them. It's like them shake them and realize that, right, till a tree my talk, you know. A tree my talk. Why you up Nigel, you know, give thanks Nigel. Why you up Nigel, yeah. We are saying, I will for them to have a clue what is really happening or what is taking place around them that qualify them to be leaders acting over the people. Because as far as we say, if the thing keep going this way, they might go on and do the same thing where the old leader them are do. It's not like them are coming something new and different. Because them fall in line. It's like when we say fall in line, it's like an army. It's like an army and come at you. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And everybody else left the right and I do the wrong. It's like them just, it's like zombies. Yeah, it's like zombies. And when them go that way, everybody go to that. You realize that the AI and all this, if it's controlled by young people, it's not old man like me control it. It's young people. The people them who have pushed rum and the alcohol thing them by the people. If young people are pushing by young people, so you can see the dynamics like not change. Because young people are promote and are produce alcohol and all the things them where them advertise. The clothes where them are wear is young professionals who's into certain things and make it and manufacture it. The food where them are eat is produced by young people again. And it will kill them off and them don't receive it. Them don't receive it that harm to them. Them say most you now will live till over 45 and it's not even say that, just to say that. A 45 them say at 35. Yeah, that's the most youth under 30, most youth under 35 now will live to say 35. I don't know if you mean it they are 34, you now will say 35. But they got start state of affair when some predict all these things. I don't know if it's prediction or is that scientific. We have reason out certain things that them say and take place in the society. Or them set the things up. Them set a time limit now on life expectancy. And so when the youth them come up now, them do certain things and that make them fall into the bracket of see that it tells them now live till them at 35, 45.
See?
And you talk to the youth them, but you know, you talk to the youth them, but you know, some of them, because they never experienced that, them say nothing happened to them. It's like if the youth them have a fire gun now. The youth them have a fire gun, you know, it's like, you show them to the thing now go work out, you know, and them say, yeah, because them things that the man who get caught is true, is fool when him get caught, and them no fool. It's weird. Them piece of the man will get caught. It's fool.
And them smart.
Them think they can't catch my rasta. Oh God. Shut up boy and have it done. This and that. And they look more years them dead round the corner. And them friend now take sleep and mad dead. I can't do old people used to say take sleep and mad dead. Them now use that as a stone to say don't go there so or don't do that. Them same one who see them friend dead. I said them now go get dead away there. because seems like they take it, you know. Well, most of them bad youth, they will have them gun and them big gun and them hip and smoke them split on the side of them mouth and bleach up them face. Most of them, you know, them are running as the police back them up, them start piss up themselves. Yes, them start piss up themselves and if not, them to the other one too. And I beg for them life because I have video them when see man I beg for him life. Man we have bullet, have gun on him side and have the long big dirty gun. Police back him up and him a beg and a ball. So I really have to question why you people say you do all these things and you now get caught and you now get shot down. You know how much you the police them kill that year already. You know how much youth I see them youth with the police them kill. Them did I say, oh, them now get caught, you know, because they make plans for all years from now, you know. You know, all the madness and murder thing with them are going with. They will make plans for years from now and not realize that, watch your man, years from now you're not going to be here. You know, you don't have a literacy 50. You don't have a literacy 45. Because all you around the thing, it don't work that way there. It don't work that way there. But who am I to say these things to them? You know, say, man, I say, oh, so you're rats, man, why me love what you're talking about? If you love we, you know, see, yeah, me I love it, yes. But it's true, we feel a certain vibes and empathy for the youth, them who, see them could have do something different and something better. But them allow the system to get them down so much that them give them life to the system. Why would you want to give your life to the system when life is so precious and beautiful and you can do so much things? You can get educated without going to school. Nowadays you just hook up on your cell phone, your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever. You can go up on all these things right now and create a school for yourself. That no classroom don't see you. That's why when you hear people talk about rather than build up a school. A school is not a building. A school is not a building. Just like how a man said church. A church is not a building, you know. Because the same Bible said, no, you know that your temple is the body of God. Yeah. Your body is a temple. So when I'm going to tell you about why Rasta will be like church or a school, that is of no significance to I. Because your structure is what you need to feed, not the building. And these youth have the opportunity to build a building inside of themselves and make them more developed in them thinking and consciousness. And them moving like them those who say life is precious. Life is wonderful. You're not supposed to give up your life, so. I mean, every man have a dead, but obviously the youth them are dead nowadays is not said on top. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how people don't give up them life that way there. Why would you want to give up your life like that, my brother and sister? And make so many people a ball and so many people start to feel a way and all these things because of what you did or what you're going to do. Even at the night, yeah, as we speak, people going to mourn for you tomorrow. Yes, people going to mourn for you tomorrow. Why you want people to mourn? People should be joyful, happy because of what you did. You're supposed to feel joy because you kill a man and a policeman kill you, so them feel glad that you're dead or going to die. Wake up. Wake up. You need to check. Check life. I know every man wants to go to heaven, but no man wants to die. there's something wrong with you. If you not to say heaven the power, something wrong with you. You still a part of the whole time religion. We're not going to do nothing. I give you nothing in return for being on earth so long. You have to wake up. You have to understand that a whole heap of the things that are happening to black people and young people right now, them set it. Yes, the system set it. The system set black people to fail because them create something and then expect you to come out of it without any problem. And when you don't come out of them to see that stuff, you can't learn, you know. I should black. Or I should where I live. It has nothing to do with that, you know. It has something to do with them are create. With them understand and put it by you to make you try and understand it. Not in the environment where them get it. But in that next environment where them created that you can't see it far than your face. Why take a 12 o'clock break and come through? It's 12 o'clock, midnight in Jamaica. And when them find themselves in a situation, them find them become what them say them would not be. Yes, them become what they say would not be. How is that possible? That the man who have cried bad and has said the system wicked and terrible, and him a come change it. When them reach the stage to change it, them become them. Same system. Well, I wonder, can you beat the system by joining the system? I don't think so. I don't think so you can beat the system by joining the system. Because people say they are joining the system and go inside, go mash it down. And when you go inside the system, you realize that it's one of you. It's one of you, you know. It's better you see outside a bit. As a matter of fact, when you see outside, you see clearer. People that feel that when you go in there, you see clearer, but obviously that's not the case. Because people who start out like me and you while listening, you know, them things there, them when they go to something and make the thing change. And when you hear from the show, they have become what they say they would not be. It's a terrible thing. Terrible, terrible thing. So I could play this.
Now, I found out that the Greeks, who were supposed to have been the founders of civilization because they were the first civilized white folks, but the Greeks got their civilization from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were black people. Greeks passed their civilization on to the Romans. They couldn't retain it. They lost it. They had a dark age in Europe for 500 years. And then another bunch of Africans, the Moors, from North Africa moved into Spain and started civilization all over again. So instead of Europe civilizing Africa, Africa has civilized Europe 2 times. They said that the earth was flat like a pancake out in the vastness of space with the sun and the moon and all the stars going around it. The ancient Egyptians in the Pyramid Age 6,000 years ago knew that the world was round. They knew that it went around the sun in 365 and 1/4 days. They measured the circumference of the earth and they calculated it so accurately until modern astronomers said their error was only 1 yard. The circumference of the earth is about 25,000 miles, and they calculated it with an error of about this, 1 yard. African history. The reason I'm talking to you about it is because it's not in the textbooks. And it's not in the textbooks because we don't write textbooks. We have other people writing textbooks and they put that propaganda in there, and we are supposed to swallow it.
Yes. That is exactly what it's all about. They write the textbook. We pass them exam. But the textbook that them give me is directed towards you passing the exam and start to work for them and be like them. And then you start to feel comfortable and realize it's there. So what happened to your brother when you don't listen now? Whenever I have the opportunity to get your textbook to pass the exam, to go where you are going. Or when you come out of film dilemma, you might say to yourself, boy, a film business that you know. A film business that. But are you your brother's keeper or are you not your brother's keeper? We have to figure it out. We have to figure it out. Because right now, the earth has tilt. The earth has tilt just now. And when we say tilt, I mean really tilt. It's like it gets warped. Yeah, man, it's like the earth has get warped now. People just are gone, but how them set the thing, you know. Trust me, you are set to fail. Them set the thing for you to fail. Remember that. And don't go on like say you're bigger than it. Because I talk where you might have, you're going to change it and change that. And when you realize that you're going, there's a total different thing that takes place. It look like it's easy to change from outside. Until you go in there, you realize it's worse. It's worse. So we just try to wake you up. So wake you up, total wake up call coming from the cutting edge. It's electronic. Strange thing name electronic. It's all over the place, man. Okay, here we go. To pause. Give thanks for your life. Give thanks for your energy. And one of the things that she was really into was the Battle of Adwa. She has always kept that celebration alive. The Battle of Adwa. So we want to heal up the family of Mama Fire. And we are hoping to this year. We are told that she requests for me to play music. Yeah, so I hope the family is listening. Tell us when. Just tell us when. And we'll see what can happen. You know my time and I have to know your time, you understand? We're talking with family now. Just tell us when. Because we have been going up there for years playing. And we want to see the ones them just keep our vibes. Because that's just how we trust my man. Rain or shine, any celebration or she did there. With our jelly coconut and our food and everything. So we just want you to know that at this moment in time, that is what is taking place of our right rock, both beer. In memory of this sister, this nice sister, man, trust me. Nice sister. You've been on people go up there, chop down them coconut trees, them and trees them around wire. It's a wicked thing. Wicked. We'll take a break and come forward.
They're Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively...
Yeah, hold on. Hello? Hello? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Alright. One of my couple of questions I want to ask you. So, what's the problem of the movie and the film? When the movie I run, you guys, you were the kid man. And I'm just trying to figure out what type of man that man was. Like, we never into like what type of man that man was like. You
have to talk because clear. What kind of what?
What type of man he was, like how what type of person, what type of man he was, like how he, go about in military man. And the next thing I want to ask is, like, all of the story, the man is, you never smoke yet, you never drink yet, but, yeah, when you do run, now you do, you see the smoke in and all of them things, how you, as a man, from
I don't know why you're not hearing you good, I don't know if it's talk up too much on the phone or what, I'm not hearing you properly. I hope you hear me.
Alright. Can you hear you clear? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, but I hear you clear, I don't know where you just about man and not smoking and all them stuff there.
Alright, let me talk first. Alright, let me slow down now. So what you say?
you know.
No, when most of the man them who used to move, we never used to smoke, you know. Most of the rest of them when me go in the hills go find, them never did that smoke.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, some of them coaches say them take 6 months to them herbs come and you come and burn it like you're police. So me never really have no decision to make, me just never smoke.
Okay. Because the reason why I ask you that is like, these are man where I'm not fully disciplined, but like, but they don't know what they're going to about that. So like from Monday to Friday, it's good. You know, I'm a drink, you know, I'm not being big, it's good. You get there, like all a while ago, they get that shut up through of it.
You got again.
Yeah.
You got again, Regine.
Hello?
Him gone?
No, I'm still there.
No, me not hear him.
You don't know where I want with the phone. Because I hear him good. Alright. Just tell him to call back. Do you want me to call back? Him gone.
Him gone? Why am I not hearing him? Yeah, it sound blurry like. Sound kind of blurry. Let's see if I can play about this thing. Yes, Yale. Alright, I can see it. Alright, I can play this.
Beyond the war, there's a really interesting thing that I learned. And that is, a lot of people on TV didn't expect a war like this to happen in, let's say, certain neighborhoods.
This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
What could be a difference here from other conflicts, you know, that could seem very far away, you know, in Africa or Middle East or whatever. I mean, these are Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, you know, like Iraq or Afghanistan. You know, this is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Wow. That was you choosing your words carefully? That was...
Clark.
So yes, Yale.
Yes, King Muta, Yelin, my big brother. Go on. Hello?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yes, King. I love, you know. Enough respect goes out to you. Yes, man, and Shane Clark. A young youth, born in the 90s, still I do it before I born, 92.
I'm Shane Clark on it tonight, though.
With the food at the receptionist. One love tune about the artist, I big up Shane Clark.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, listen to the program. Mandingo,
DJ Kamar down there.
No, man, I don't know Shane there, man. DJ Shane there.
let me tell you, my ear Shane, you know, my ear Shane, man. Yeah, alright, Shane, big up yourself, always, man. Alright, here what we're going now. First, we want to give thanks to life, sir, Mota. In our life for the greatest. In respect and honor again to you, King Mota. I tell you, it's something we hear every day. But this time I say now, it's you see that come like a normal thing, but it's big for me. I'm respect and glad to talk to you right now, sir Mota. You know, hear it regular, right? Alright. So me I tell you, the work we do me general in a normal. But when we really want to talk to the Mota thing, we never can talk everything right now. We just try to summarize everything so other people can talk, right? Sir Mota.
Yeah, what's that?
No, I'm not going to take out the whole program, you know. But I tell you, some respect to the ground, and enough thing more to talk to you about. But just give you a look at summary, other people can talk.
Alright, thanks.
Well, on the man, me just want to talk about the speech. Me don't want to ask you the speech, come right
and get a tune named The Last Emperor. I don't know if you see that movie there. But it's the background to The Last Emperor, and I put the two of them together, and years now we're using it. And everyone likes it actually. Everybody hear it, want a copy of it, and think it's a record.
I was moving that. They say moving him again, King Muta.
Eh?
They say the moving him again.
The soundtrack named The Last Emperor.
You may hear the first part, but only hear the last Emperor.
But the book named Conversation with God.
With God. I'm going to get that one, the man. It's a man like me.
Oh, boys.
So much find it online.
There's an audio book, yes. But you have the paper book, the paperback book.
Paper part. Why you come
I was very interested in
yes. The written one, you get the more feeling of the Latin, but when you know, when you're more familiar with the audio book, I saw come with the all. I only think this one girl could run down Bow Marley in the Black Indian and consider herself as a king. And Rasta, so I go out, them send me to church and things. Enough time to, so
you have to watch the language, girl. You have to watch the language on the radio.
You know that I'm not
watching language.
Yo, you have to watch your language on the radio.
Alright, say Muta, definitely, because at least if I think they might create. Yeah, so I love at the end of the day, you know, when I make religion come between you and family, how me get to know, you hear them now on the internet, and how long you do it, and I never know. And they see on YouTube, you there, me hear the program and you talk from about real, and I say, but Muta, you can read the same way every week, and I so come to know, you know, and I talk. After March last year, still, you know, so I go here now, I listen, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's why I run in, you know.
32 years there. 32 years there.
Alright, and 92 my born, so 92 you start it?
Yeah, 1992 me start.
Yeah, because the year
March the 8th.
The most I'm not for the whole program. My name King Roger, me show it again next time. Your heart of love, be safe.
Yeah, man, give
you're on the whole crew. Yeah, man, keep your thing, my brother, bless up.
Yes, give thanks. Okay, I'm going to see if we can play this thing before somebody else call me. It's 2 minutes long. I could go back to the night again. Here we go.
Beyond the war, there's a really interesting thing that I learned. And that is, a lot of people on TV didn't expect a war like this to happen in, let's say, certain neighborhoods.
This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
What could be a difference here from other conflicts, you know, that could seem very far away, you know, in Africa or Middle East or whatever. I mean, these are Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, you know, like Iraq or Afghanistan. You know, this is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Wow. That was you choosing your words carefully? That was the careful version? So what were you going to say if you weren't choosing your words carefully? I just hope the next time this happens, it happens back in the Middle East where it belongs. Like, here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. Beyond the racism, right? Like, let's forget the racism. Oh, how I wish we could forget about the racism. You do realize that until very recently, fighting crazy wars was Europe's thing. That was Europe's entire thing. That's all of European history. They even had something called the 100 Years' War. You understand how long that is? That's like a decade. They got a Nobel Prize because they stopped fighting. Imagine that. Now people are going to be like, oh, to see this in Europe, to see this. Like, I'll tell you now, I don't know about you, but I was shocked to see how many reporters around the world, by the way, seem to think that it's more of a tragedy when white people have to flee their countries. Because I guess what, the darkies were built for it? I mean, you see how they run in the Olympics, Peter. Clearly God has given them this talent for a reason. I totally agree. I mean, even if this wasn't a war, these people would probably be fleeing their homes for fun. It's just who they are.
You know that especially Russia, millions. Now see a war between Russia and Ukraine. And the same people, them, you know, there's nothing divide the land, you know, more than a man-made mark who say, yes, for Russia, yes, for Ukraine. And the same people, them, and them are kill one another by thousands every day. And then them turn around and tell about black people this and black people that. We have to check it. We have to check it. Yes, blessed. Yeah. What the hell is happening? Yeah. Alright.
Like the person out. I don't know them team.
Eh?
You know it, man, I am.
I know you.
I'm just saying me that.
Alright, I could see what I'm going on the side, yeah. I wonder what's happening to the phone them tonight. Here we go.
A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. As a matter of fact, in a museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty, which is a black woman. When the French artist created the Statue of Liberty, it was supposed to represent the end of slavery. On the original model, there were chains on the hands and feet, as we know. When the statue got to America, they wanted to erase any references to slavery from the statue, but the artist really thought to keep the chains on there because this is your art. You don't want people tampering with your art. And if you look, the chain is still on the foot of the Statue of Liberty to this day.
Well, the story was that it was a gift of the French to the slaves, and that the original statue had the picture of a black woman, the original model for it, and it had a distinctly African face. But it was Europeanized because the people in the United States did not want to have a black face sitting up there in the harbor, so they carved it out in France. They had to go back to the drawing board and remodel the face after the what they call the patron saint of manifest destiny. So the patron saint of manifest destiny, that's her face on the what they call the Statue of Liberty, which was transposed from the African face. In fact, you see the patron saint of manifest destiny in the symbol for Columbia Pictures at the beginning of the movies. That's the patron saint of.
Yes, the original statue of Liberty was black. Can't believe that. Can you believe that? Alright, are you ready? Yeah, blessed.
Greetings in the name of the King. You don't know everything is everything. Yeah, we see the program, you know. We love the work, because the work have to manifest itself, because we don't know Rastafari run the program all the time. Yeah, you talk about the war with them. You know the war with them fight in England. I do some studies, you know, and I find out say the English language, the originally come from the Germanic language, you know, and them fight a war, named the 100-Year War, War of the Roses, and then them fight the next one. Yeah, them fight the next one for 70 years. Most the French, them and the one them up in Austria, and them fight the next one again for 30 years, and then them come up with a treaty named the Westphalia Treaty. You know, see it, and at that time I bring them together, yeah, to make the war, them kind of done for a while, you know, because the kingdom of the Habsburg, them did run the place, that part of the Roman Empire there, and the whole constant war of one. So, and I like say, them don't know how them things go, them invent them thing there. Now, I run in a local situation, you know, where they must say, when you say certain things, them say you're anti-Semitic. So I go to some studies on it, and she say Semitic people come from North Africa, Southeast Asia, and run by the Mediterranean. Now, I go find out the word, you know, the man who coined, as them use the terminology, the man who coined the word Semitic, coined it to say Semitic people mean them inferior to the European them at the time when he used the word. Now, the man who originally first bring the word anti-Semitism in the English lexicon is a man named William Mars. He's a Jew. He's
see me and say, my grandfather was a Jew. He married 3 times to 3 different Jewish women. I don't know what the problem was, but he travel out and come out South America, North America, and then he go further Germany and start an organization named the Anti-Semitic League. And he published 5 books. One of them was a bestseller. 1904 in dead. Well, it now come take it up and run with it and decide him to punish them people. Now, them say when you say something about anti-Semitism, you fight against them. But it's take the word out of context to make it look like, say, people bias against them. But it's them is the villain in the whole matter. You see? And them want to deceive the world. So, if you know these things, so we can know the clarification of what go on and how the things set up. Because check it out now, you know, Elon Musk is a German by ancestry. See? And at them and the Dutch, it go down a
South Africa, the family benefit, family benefit, have a party.
Yeah. People forgot them things in a car. To them, they in the news again like one time, you know. Say, at them, they go down, they go set up the whole of the lyrics, so go on down, they say, you know, and keep up the arms out, you know, see. And now them are come go on like them are some savior and some saint, you know what I mean? Now, you file a thing in a some paperwork come here, though. And them are say, when you talk about the thing, you're anti-Semitic. The minute you go say, XYZ, I mean, I tell people, say, the reason why a lot of people don't believe in Jesus as name, because the letter J was the last letter going in the English lexicon.
500 years ago, never did it. 500 years ago, never did it at all.
Yeah, 17 something, a brother named Torresano from Italy put it in there. You know, see? And, yeah, me I say, people for go educate themselves on certain things and know knowledge of facts. You know what I mean? Before they people start to assume situations. Because Rastafari come to lead the program, you know, because we're not follow, you know, because Rasta head. So we're not follow. You see me I say? So we want to make the people know, say, don't make them fool with about this and that. Because the thing where Donald Trump grandfather come from Austria, the same place Adolf Hitler come from. And I want to go find out, say, Adolf Hitler was named them last name was Schanberger or something like that. And the father changed the name to Hitler. You know, see? So, they might come off of the same tree, and the same family war, you know, all them war, they will fight a family war, you know.
All of them are family, all of them.
The Queen of England.
The Queen of England. The Queen of England are family too.
Yeah, and the Kaiser from Germany. A two first cousin. You see me I say? So the way the thing set up is with the new our culture. You know, see? So that's how we are look on it. But we want to big up Ibrahim Traore, you know, because you see that man there right now, he's dead on it. And he might be with it proper. And you see African leaders, they take two page out of film book.
Look like them are doing it. Look like them are doing it, man.
Yeah, we see that, you know, but we just have to say, you know, we want to reinforce it, you know, because we don't want them to feel like, say, we don't know what go on, you know. We know what go on. You see me I say? And we want it to get done right. I would like to say something to the Prime Minister, Mr. Holness, Dr. Holness. The infrastructure in Jamaica is severely decayed and falling down. The fire will go on Fleet Street and Lad Lane or there. All of them places they want to revamp. Instead they have to build up some brand new house, go through the whole of them places and start to make them house better. Tear down all of them places and build up back some fresh thing for the people them. You know, see, modernize the thing with the money. Them $600 billion where you're going to use to build about 5 houses to some people somewhere. Fix the people in place where them don't live already. Give them some comfort. Give them a public wheel. That them say, you know, public wheel, the betterment for the good of the people. And that's what we are dealing. You know, see? Yeah. Rank and file, higher echelon, Vice Admiral with the JDF. Keep up the good work on the waters because that's how it go. But JDF want a line infantry officer to run them. That them want. See? On the general staff, they need a line infantry officer to shake up the crew. make them get more adept to training and how to deal with certain situations. You see where I come from? The officers, they know where I try use them authority as police. One of the tension, man, because the people of Jamaica is going to be there to serve. And the can't administrate such you not go down and go in certain situations, get out of hand. The first thing, them now give them, Mr. Davis, doctor, you do a good job. I not say you not do a good job. But here we move there, we make a recommendation as a member of the elite. Anytime the police them go up on a scene, supposed to do is set up a hasty 180 degrees defensive perimeter for themselves. So nobody can cross into the line. When them do up on them operation, too much people walking between them. That is not allowed. From our technique where we use, that's not allowed. 180 degrees, so you know, so you have your thing line up, so you can get to perform your work. You know, see, approach the people with more tact. More tact, meaning the people in a more, you know what I mean, friendly basis. You know, if you go there with such a ferocious attitude because you have the power of the line in your hand. You need a certain amount of, you know what I mean, contentment within the people. Because they have them grievances too. Them thing they are willing to put in the everyday manual, you know, operations memo where them
Good idea, and them not read it too. Good idea, and them not read it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's listen, it comes from the top. Leadership, you know, it's from the top, you know. When I go out on a mission, you know, because I tell you as a man, we unite, you know, see.
Take the break. We have to take a break. We have to take a break.
You know, see, yeah.
We have to take a break.
In general, listen, I want to touch two subject matter, you know. The thing I hear what James guys to do. The educator them to know that. You see me I say, and come together because the youth them is the future, and we have to show by example how to deal with that. You see me I say. And I want to big up some black notables, you know what I mean, where, from my perspective, you have a man in drop out, you know, still respect to him still, you know, a big general from the armed forces of the U.S. Marine Corps, you know, named Michael Langley, a Butch Crescent in Barn and Go. You see me I say, run a my area, this sort of thing. And the first black four-star general in the Marine Corps history, you know, see, and a sergeant major named Off, first black sergeant major in the Marine Corps history. Them man they set a train. You see me I say, now, as far as Jamaica, Miss Grange, between now and April for the anniversary of Selassie visit, we want the marijuana for legal 100% for the economics and the sacrament and all of the doings to Rastafari. For them job that. Make sure so that table and bill pass and we have it. One love to all Jamaica, Muta, member, you know, you are the man for the mission and we're there with you, you know, because we're not draw back like when David did tell the man them to kill you. We're not left you out there. We're not left you out there. Shoulder to shoulder, we'll be with you. Yes, sir. One love. Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
How are you doing, sir?
Good day, man.
He's a hard man to get. Yes, man. You're starting to try to get you.
Wow. You have to talk to Flo about that.
No, man, I FM station. I get through sometime, but they put for a hole and me not just hang up or call and the line is there.
You're free now, come on.
So, come on. Anyway, listen to learn a lot from your programs. Right, you have done your research and also you are a very learned person, sir, on your history. Alright, history of Africa and all of that. So I always love listening to your program, Cutting Edge, and sometimes on Thursdays when I do get a shot. I always learn something, sir. And I'm eager to learn more. Topic one.
Where's the topic one? Or what topic you have?
Maybe about three. About three. South Africa, not Australia. South Africa. more history, the total history from South Africa. They called a while ago. He has done his research. And he has done his research. Right? And he have the full understanding. I heard him mention something about just a slight mention about the war we are going down so now. Down at Middle East. Ukraine, yeah, that's why, Ukraine. Ukraine. I got to understand that it's a family thing, same way, it's a family turf or a family war. Right, all of that.
Same people.
I see. I'm here, you mentioned it since night, you and him. So it was somebody else who had done their research as well on that, right? And they found out that one family, one people, them. But I think is either two brother or two brother son causing the whole problem now. That come from a couple 100 years ago or something. Right, when one of the brothers must did break off, the Ukraine sign break off, and he got that piece of land. And that piece of land full of minerals. Right, so now Ukraine and the other part was what? The other side is what?
Russia.
Yeah, Russia. It's like Russia now want to come back and reclaim it. Right? Say a fee, right? And I think that is what causing the war now. Which to me is senseless because when the innocent people are dead, the innocent people them are dead in the crossfire or something. Right? Them are get the real effect of the something. And them are dead.
So what do you think should happen now between the two lands? What do you think should happen?
The two brother them are the two brother them are maybe first cousin or whatever them is. Just come together, sit down, talk. Just talk it out, brother. Talk it out. Right? The Russian man maybe think him too big to go to the man Ukraine. And just talk. Just talk it out, brother. Just hear what say. Make we come together and make we unite again. Just come back together as one. Everybody win. Somebody not fair dead. Everybody win.
If I hear them say power corrupt, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I got to go on right now with all of them people. Donald Trump now. Him say I'm a king. You know, America wipe out king long time, but him a sure say him above the constitution, so now him can't do anything where he want to do. That him do. So you see say these people over the years cannot be trusted. Even though them talk so terrible thing about black people and black people this and black people that. When you look how we are going in the earth now, it's them that create the problem. Them that create the problem. So we have to just deal with our things. You see, we have to find our way and do with our things. You can't depend on them. The other things I expect say them out do it in our interest. Them not doing it.